At his new home, Stevie would experience domestic stability for the first time and discover his calling. Denied the sense of sight, Stevie developed a sixth sense for music.
Stevie would play the drums on pots and pans, and when he would do it, he would make such beautiful sounds.
Somebody gave him a little harmonica when he was very young, when he was 4 or 5, and he started to make a sound from that. There was a neighbor with a piano. He started to play around with that when he was 6 or 7.
Stevie would go over and play, and at first they loved it. They, great, hey, you can come over anytime. Well, Stevie took it literally. He was over morning, noon, and night, whenever he could, and he finally, no more.
By the time he was 9, Stevie was already singing and playing harmonica on street corners, and his performances became the talk of the neighborhood. When Ronnie White of the hit-making Motown act The Miracles learned about the blind prodigy, he had to hear for himself.
One of the guys who was in The Miracles with me, a guy named Ron White, his younger brother went to school with Stevie. And his brother told Ron about Stevie. And Ron went to hear Stevie sing, and Ron brought Stevie to Motown.
Apartheid in South Africa crumbled after Nelson Mandela walked to freedom, but black people suffered decades of government-backed injustice before it did. Apartheid really began in 1948, but separating black Africans from the white minority had long been a policy aim. Laws made white people officially superior, and the large black majority faced discrimination in every aspect of their lives. Living, doing business, or owning land in white areas was banned. There were separate public facilities, transport, and schools. Interracial marriage was banned. Many had no right to citizenship and were regarded as aliens in major cities. Instead, they were made citizens of Bantustans, homelands scattered throughout South Africa. But resistance grew. In 1960, a huge peaceful protest against past laws ended in a massacre at Sharpeville. 69 people were killed. The deaths galvanized opposition, radicalizing liberation movements like the ANC.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence.
Open conflict erupted in the 1980s, with anti-apartheid activists frequently shot at, beaten, or arrested. Mass protests were firmly put down. But, little by little, the apartheid establishment crumbled. After gradual reform, Nelson Mandela, imprisoned since not long after Sharpeville, was set free in 1990. 4 years later, he was elected as South Africa's first black president. Apartheid had ended.
Enough as we are here, I just learned that the South African government says they will not allow any press to come in and cover the events, stirring up, as they say, negative publicity or stories. I don't know, I think the rest of the world has to be outraged with this policy, with this position, because the rest of the world was outraged when the Soviet Union supposedly took over Afghanistan. So I don't understand how people are not outraged with this, because it is exactly the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. And I am, as many people around me, colleagues of mine, are very, very upset with this position, with this policy. It really is saying that the rest of the world has to do something, and has to respond even heavier